Hey guys, today we're going back and doing some more casual geographic. It's been a long time. Well, I think like 3 videos ago, maybe two, something like that. It's been a little while, so I thought it was about time we head back into the casual geographic territory once again. So let's get into it.
Moose are one of those animals. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean
I was literally about to ask.
What do you mean by that?
that you could look at this picture 900 times and a 901st will still put bricks in your pants. Also, fun fact, this picture's probably the reason you even know I exist. One of the first animal videos I ever made was dedicated to how much of a middle finger this was to my peace of mind. What was true back then is still very much true today. At up to 1,700 pounds and 7 feet tall, at the shoulders, the moose is always going to be one of those animals God forgot to put a size cap on. Moose are part of the Capreolinae deer family. Only problem is this roy deer is closer in size to an elephant than to a full-grown Bambi. And because you probably think I'm lying, the largest Alaskan moose ever caught was 1,808 pounds and 10 feet tall if you count the antlers. But like, why wouldn't?
Because look, excuse you, 10 feet tall. Yes, with antlers, I think that counts. That's like me. I'm like 6 foot something with my ears. Like I'm very tall.
Moose are broken in many ways, but the most obvious is how god big they are.
I think I better start back. I can't back up that fast, can I?
The problem with being built like a truck with antlers is that very few things in nature have the ability or the audacity to ever try to check you. And while moose calves are obviously vulnerable to predators, there just aren't enough things in the world that are bold enough, desperate enough, or stupid enough to want smoke with a full-grown bull moose.
I'm sorry, that is horrifying. Not in like a terrifying way, just ordinary thing is fuck. Like if that thing walks towards you, I'm moving the fuck away.
And while wolves might hunt them, even a wolf pack will hesitate to test a healthy male moose's ability to turn you into past tense. And as solitary hunters that occasionally get their pushed in by smaller animals like the guanaco, most cougars won't even bother with a full-grown moose. In some places, grizzly bears have been known to murk adult moose, but when the only thing in your area code that has even a chance of humbling you is literally one of the largest predators on the planet, that is a problem. And if you're 10 feet tall, pushing 2,000 pounds, wearing tree branches for a hat, a bear isn't going to try you unless it's its last possible option. Which is why one of the biggest threats to a healthy, full-grown, aggressive bull moose.
I've never seen them up close like that. They are horrifying. Those fucking antlers. What the fuck? You could fucking take someone's eye out with those things. Like that over nurse is so lucky he's not blinded.
Is an even bigger, aggressive bull moose. And that's because in what I can only describe as a dick move from nature, the same antlers that help it get laid are often what gets it laid to rest. Sometimes fighting males will get their antlers locked together, and that's basically a death sentence. Because two moose that are stuck together and can't break free will either starve to death, die of exhaustion, or a lucky bear will find them and take the 2 for 1. Exhibit A, these are...
My god, that is... Oh my god. Oh... It's a horrible freeze frame. Here, I don't like
got
this.
Locked together and ended up freezing in a lake. And speaking of lakes, moose can swim. Because of course they can. I don't know who told them, but moose somehow figured out there's a good amount of food in lakes, so they'll dive up to 20 feet down to feed on the aquatic plants and vegetation at the lake bottom. As better swimmers than me, it's really not uncommon to see a moose swimming in an inlet connected to the sea or phelpsing between islands as they search for food. And at this point, you probably know exactly what direction this video is about to go in. Because this right here is how this ends up happening. Because the moose is basically defenseless in the water, and because...
So you're telling me big fishes eat moose? Big fishes eat I was gonna say mice, eat moose, excuse me?
Always choose violence. The killer whale is the only known marine predator of the moose. To be fair, Greenland sharks have been found with moose remains in their stomach, but for my mental health, we're gonna assume the moose are already dead. But the truly messed up part is the only reason the moose even put themselves in this position is because they were looking for food. It's like finding a shortcut to Stop and Shop and then getting clapped in the car at a red light on the way there. And since orcas don't see humans as a reliable food source, at least once in the history of mankind, some guy lived through this and probably never slept well ever again.
Oh my god, wait. If that's true, that must have been like the most insane, fucking trippy, surreal fucking bullshit they'd ever seen. Like, it'd be like a skit, like a story, like, oh, this one time I saw the strange, blah, 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 blah. Like, nah, it never happened. But it did happen.
Drives a Bentley. And as basically a walking snowplow, an adult moose can sprint through 6 feet of snow at about 15 miles per hour. Those numbers might not mean much to you, but I can personally guarantee you this video will.
That's fast.
Now ask yourself what's scarier, this moose running through snow or what in the possible it could be running from. And then there's this. I don't even really...
No, this is AI. This is fake. This is not real.
2 options, either the water's shallow or that's Jesus Christ in moose form. The Moosiah.
It has to be shallow water. It has to be shallow water. It cannot be running on water like
For an
that.
animal that's dead ass big enough and tall enough to have its own Wi-Fi, moose can
It
sprint at top
fucking
speeds of
moves.
35 miles per hour. Usain Bolt at his
fucking
best
hell.
maxed out at just under 28 miles, meaning not even he could run from this smoke. Now there's probably two reasons why you've never seen a moose run at top speed. Well, number one, when you're built like a tree with legs, there isn't a whole lot in the world you need to run from. And number two, anyone that manages to motivate a several hundred-pound moose into breaking an Olympic record probably isn't going to be alive to talk about it. In a country with bears, cougars, and Florida, the most dangerous animal of all is a 10-foot vegan with antlers. But it's not really their fault. Moose are deer, and as
okay, I know I'm one to talk with my Xbox 360 microphone quality, but did his audio just fucking change and get clearer all of a sudden? Again, I know pot, kettle, black, and all that, but you guys love my 360 mic, so...
deer are just menaces to society. In America, deer cause about 1 million car accidents a year and about $1 billion worth of damage to add on top of it. And the moose is by far the worst deer to hit. On a scale from 1 to absolutely your bunkmates would whine seeing if this antler Grim Reaper is ever on the road with you. They say you should never swerve.
God. I don't know why I got like genuine like anxiety watching that. Like I know it's not, well, I know it's real, but I know I wasn't in the car, but it felt like I was in the vehicle. Holy shit! I didn't know you got one. That one.
Because you can lose control of your vehicle and end up hitting something way worse. That 5% is reserved for when this is on the road, because if your choices are hitting a moose or swerving, then your next choices are opened or closed casket. And because moose are so disrespectfully tall.
That is such a valid point. You either swerve and hit a tree and possibly dead, game end, or you don't swerve, hit this, and possibly game end. What the fuck are you picking? Like, what are your choices
hitting
there?
A moose often means taking out its legs. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Only problem is moose are so goddamn big that they can often fall through your windshield and then put you on a headline. The worst part is because they're so tall, their eyes don't reflect in your headlights the way they would for a normal-sized deer. That combined with their blatant disregard for anyone else's life means in moose country you can easily go from a person to a pack faster than you can brake. According to the internet, if you're about to hit a moose, the best advice is to slow down, don't swerve, and pray to whoever you believe in. Just know that if it ever comes down to your car versus a moose, the moose might walk away, but you're not coming out of there without wings and a halo. But of course, moose don't need to be...
I just need a minute. That all that footage and that information at once. Holy shit, bro. I'm so glad we got these fuckers over here. But they're not scary in snakes or spooder sense, but they're just intimidating. Just by their sheer fucking size of these bastards.
Put you on a stretcher, and this is what makes them worse than the cougars and bears of the world. Predators like mountain lions or grizzlies don't normally see humans as happy meals, so most encounters are either territorial because some dude was either unlucky enough or stupid enough to get too close to their cubs.
Oh my god, bro, chill.
These guys are different. Different as in they'll river dance all over your back, and they don't really need a reason to do it. As big as they are, they're still a very much valuable prey animal, especially if they're young or sick. And due to the generational trauma of being constantly hunted, moose are naturally wary, which makes them much more likely to attack unprovoked. It gets worse when people forget that they only have one chance at life and attempt to waste it by feeding a moose. This often leads not just moose but wild animals in general to associate humans with food, and with association comes expectations. A moose that's constantly been fed by humans is only going to expect food whenever it sees them. In a moose's head, it just makes sense. And failing to meet
it's gonna freaking get angry if you don't. Oh, I never thought that. Oh my god.
Is exactly how heaven gains angels. But a moose is at its most volatile when it's in rut. For those of you that don't know what rut is when male animals like camel or deer experience a surge in testosterone, which causes them to become more aggressive and more interested in mating. And for those of you that already know what rut is...
Oh, okay, where they get urges, shall we say.
I know how you know. And for moose, this surge in testosterone turns
into I don't get it.
Spring break, and sometimes they cause
I don't think I want to. The way he was looking at the camera, I don't think I want to know. I'm pretty sure I'm happy with him in ignorance of that.
Every year in America and Canada, people visit the emergency room because they got too close to a moose, and that moose decided to play hopscotch on their back. Sometimes moose cut out the middleman completely and just pull up to hospitals themselves.
Is that inside a building? Oh my god. No, he listen. No, this is his store now. This is his store. You guys are in his way. It's his store. Get out. He wants to shop in peace. So he can shop in peace.
Because moose are such a roadblock on the highway of life. Once upon a time, the USSR actually tried to domesticate these deer on steroids and then ride the tankers into battle on a moose cavalry. Results
Excuse me?
were mixed. Once again, as a prey animal, the moose were naturally terrified of gunfire, and many of them refused to allow themselves to be ridden into battle. Not to mention the moose were much more susceptible to diseases and much harder to feed than horses, so yeah, I was up for that. But there had to have been one kid that joined the military to pay for college only to have his ops pull up on a whole ass moose. If we're being honest here, that story just says more about the Soviet Union than it does about the moose.
Honestly, true, because I'm pretty sure they did that with doggos too. They would kind of like make like bomb dogs, which is fucking disgusting. So yeah, I'm quite happy that never came to fruition.
Back to the moose. Are overgrown all-terrain vehicles with legs, antlers, and audacity, and probably the reason Canadians are so polite. Their landlords are moose and they pay taxes to geese. You'd be humble too. Pretty sure this is the part of the video where I'm supposed to tell y'all to subscribe. Have a nice day.
Bonus
So
clip,
moose drop
oh
their
god.
antlers every year but grow them back in the spring because they use them to flex for females. And at first the antlers grow inside this soft skin with tiny hairs called velvet. But eventually the moose has a surge of testosterone where they basically become 7-foot frat boys on spring break. That's when the velvet sheds and the bones of the antlers harden. The velvet stays on the antlers for about 3 to 4 months until the moose rubs up against trees and bushes to remove them. Which is why they look like they bundied somebody. As much of a hate crime as this looks like, it
Yeah, that is quite unfucking nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna
doesn't
lie.
hurt the moose at all, and it's a lot like snakes shedding their skin. If anything, it's more like an annoying itch. Also, when a bull moose wants to pull a female, they use cologne just like you and me. Except their version involves digging a pit,
What do you mean, you and me? So, I don't use
peeing into the
that.
pit, and then rubbing and splashing the golden pool all over their antlers the R. Kelly way. Clearly they know what they're doing because smelling liquid sunshine causes the female moose to ovulate because nature's just weird like that.
Okay, to 8 minutes lol. Oh my god, bro, we just shouted as a gay. Damn, okay, alright. Not as like mind-shittingly terrifying as some of the others we've fucking gone through. But moose, I have a healthy respect and fear of now. Didn't realize they were such fucking tanky monsters. Not monsters in the snake or spirit way where, you know, kill it with fire. Just monsters in like, they're just big. They're big and they don't give a shit. If you're in their way, you're in their way. They will make you fucking rue. That kind of monster. Like lesser kind of monster. Like that. Bruh. Bro, you Canadians, you gotta pull up with some weird ass shit over there. If any of you have moose stories, leave them in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see, like, what do you do in that situation? It's not like you can tell it to shoe. It's not like you can tell it, you know, there's like a shoe it out of your fucking way. It's not gonna move. You're gonna have to move. Bro. Okay. Sorry about the short one today, guys, but I guess that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.